Hi, welcome back to SmithOutpost. Today I'm going to be reviewing the Asus ROG Ally. This device does run about $400, but it does run a full version of Windows 11 Home, which is really nice because that means it's going to be compatible with your Steam games or your Microsoft Game Pass. It's really nice because it will support all of the games that you're playing already on your PC. The Steam is really nice because it doesn't use Steam Link. It's actually running a full version of Steam, which is great. I don't like to use the Steam Link because I have to have my PC on, I forgot to turn it on, then I got to work, and now I can't play my games. This isn't going to be that type of a scenario. This one runs as though it is a full PC, which is great. It does have an AMD Ryzen Z1 processor, which goes up to 4.90 gigahertz, which is pretty fast for a device that's this small. It also supports the AMD Radeon graphics up to 2.5 gigahertz. It does have expandable storage if you plug in here to your SD card, but it does come automatically with a 512 gigabyte solid state drive. That solid state drive is expandable. If you're familiar with how to modify computers already or work on computer hardware, it's going to be relatively similar. There is a great demonstration that they give on the ROG website on how to make your solid state drive bigger. So you just have to, of course, buy the solid state drive, install it, and you can run with a larger solid state drive if you're not happy with the 512 that it comes with, which is nice. You can get in there and you can go ahead and modify it if you feel like you don't have enough space. It also has a 7-inch display, and it weighs about 1.4 pounds, which is actually about half the weight of the PlayStation Portal. And this thing does way more than the PlayStation Portal. This is my go-to device when I want to pick up a handheld gaming device, because I can pretty much do anything I want with it because it does support that Windows 11 Home. It does have great ports on the top here. So we have a audio port on the top here. It does support USB-C, and then it also has volume controls, and then of course a power button here at the top. The battery life on this is about 40 hours. Obviously that depends on the games that you're playing and the processing power that it takes to play those games. And then it does also support Wi-Fi. So it supports up to 6E, which is great because if you're using something like the Euros that are already on 6E, it will support all the way up to Wi-Fi 6E. It also supports Bluetooth as well. Unlike the PlayStation Portal where you need an adapter device, this does support Bluetooth automatically since it does run Windows 11 Home. So that's mostly about the Asus ROG. We're going to show you some gameplay on the ROG, and we'll show you a little bit more details about the setup on the actual screen. Alright, so we're over here now on the Asus ROG Ally. We're on our Windows home screen. You'll see that it's very similar to your home PC. You've got your, we have our Xbox Game Pass already logged in, and then we also have Steam running here. But it's great because it's literally Windows, and I like that about the ROG. So if we pop in here to our Xbox, the screen is totally touchscreen. So the 7-inch display is touchscreen, so you don't need to worry about moving your toggles or anything like that when you're trying to control your game. So I'm going to show you some of the important toggles and things like that when you're dealing with the Windows operating system. And the one that's the most important here is this one that looks like a sideways triangle here. So this is your actual command center. So you can change your performance settings, for example. So like turbo is going to mean that your processor is going to run at a higher speed. You also have a silent mode so that you don't hear the fans running as much if you're recording like a video, for example. And then you have more of an operating mode. So when I'm gaming, I always have it in turbo mode. You just have to be aware that when you're running in turbo mode, of course, you're going to run at a little bit higher heat. And then you also have your gamepad. So your game controller and things like that have different settings. So you can run more of in a desktop mode or in an auto mode so that it switches back and forth. Or most of the time, I just run in gamepad mode. And that's going to be your compatibility when you're playing, for example, Xbox Cloud Gaming, is you're going to need to go ahead and be in that gamepad or be in auto. You can set up different game profiles as well. If you like to have different settings for different games, you can configure all your controls based off of the games, which is really nice. So if you want to have your own custom controls, you can do that. There are different options in here. Those are the most important options that I go through and I mess with. And so that was this one here, the Command Center. And then it does support Armoury Crate as well. So that's going to be this button over here. So we'll turn off our Command Center. So in this one, you can control more of your operating mode. You can control your lighting around your toggles as well. So if we wanted to change our lighting, and then you can change it to whatever you like. So you have like static settings. You can do color cycle so that it'll cycle between all the colors on your toggles. I personally kind of like the rainbow setting. And then you just would set it and that's it. So that would be how you adjust all your lighting settings and things like that. So there's a whole bunch of different settings in Armoury Crate. So they're kind of cool to go through and see what different things you can change on the Asus ROG Ally. All right, so we're gonna do a little gameplay now. So those are the most important like actual setting features. We are gonna be playing today. So of course it does have that Steam support, which is really nice because it's an installed version of Steam. So you can play all your Steam games right here on your Asus ROG. The mappings for the games, for your controls, is actually really nice. And if you don't like the mappings, so like for your toggles up here, there are buttons in the back as well. So you can map these to anything that you want. And then these are also secondary buttons. So if you do a long hold on these, you can map them to multiple settings on your games. So again, it does support Steam. I really love that it does that. But we're going to be playing the Xbox Game Pass. I like the cloud gaming. So we're going to play an Xbox cloud game. All right, so you can see here that I have Forza already up. I like racing games quite a bit, so I like to play these. But the controls are relatively nice. There's not a lot of flip back on these controllers, very similar to the PlayStation 5. Or the PlayStation Portal. I actually really do like the controls on this a bit better because it's more similar to like an Xbox controller as far as how you would control your vehicle when you're playing on an Xbox. The display is great. I think that compared to something like the PlayStation Portal, I feel like this one is a little bit more clear. It is a little bit smaller than the PlayStation Portal display. This one is 7 inches. But overall, I think that the vibration is a little bit, I think, weak, and that may be a control setting, but for me, I do feel like when I'm crashing here, I'm kind of doing that on purpose so that I can feel the vibration from the controls. But overall, I think that the gameplay on when I'm playing something like this, it's really smooth and I'm not having a lot of difficulty. Some of the devices that you grab, you're like, man, this is really hard to control. This really isn't overly difficult to control. I really do feel like I am playing an Xbox right now. All right, guys, and that was the Asus ROG Ally. I hope you liked our video today. Make sure you like and subscribe. We will be doing some additional reviews on some more handheld gaming devices. So make sure you like and subscribe so you can come back and join us again. Thanks.